Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast, Georgia Indy Talk edition. Listen, man, you hate to start off a show like that, but I don't, there was no way we were going to have especially a Georgia show where we did not discuss the passing of Charlie Smith,
Yeah,
on Monday at the age of 92.
Jesus, that's a long life. Somebody who, you know, when when we first met Charlie, people were, oh, that's Charlie Smith. I didn't understand the history of Charlie Smith till a year or two later, where I looked him up and realized he'd been the referee, booker, promoter for wrestling in Georgia all over the place. Man, the importance of this man, Cauliflower Alley, big deal in Cauliflower Alley. And the whole thing was, Charlie was always nice to us. He always talked to us. We couldn't walk in the door at Southern Fried without talking to him first, because he was right there and he always greeted us. And I couldn't always understand what he said, but my kids both have masks from his gimmick table. Uh, that's that's a lot. Thank you,
Yeah, I
Charlie.
mean, it's funny. I think Terry Lawler introduced me to him first. That was the
Yeah,
first time I had any interaction with him. And so I had the benefit of kind of Terry when he did the introduction, kind of get a little background of who he was or whatever, and then of course over the years finding out, him being on the board of directors at the Cauliflower Alley Club. I mean, hell, the award for referees is named after him.
yeah,
If you want to talk about how influential he is, he was around, and I mean, like I said, he was around back in the Gunkel days, man.
yeah.
In Georgia, NWA and stuff. So, we had a scare a while back. He had COVID there for a while, and we were scared. We had that scare. But just it's like you said, man. It was you'd walk into Southern Fried, or you'd walk into a ton of shows we went across. I mean, he would have a table there, and it was like you said, it was always And it's funny. I always tell people like how genuine people is who. It's not like Charlie Smith talked to us and not that we are now, and I always try to throw that because it's hard to say, but like when we literally were nobody,
Yeah,
and we were just walking into buildings, and stuff. But it was like, oh, well, this is Terry's friend,
yeah.
and then just over the years,
Then was your friend from Terry, and then
and we went from that to the fact that I'm very pleased that I could say Charlie Smith was my friend,
yes,
after 5 years, and God, it's harder than I thought it was going to be.
I'm usually the tear up here. Yeah,
Yeah, but he was
it's
just a good dude, man. He was a genuinely good dude. Always had fun, fun talking to him. And he knew so much stuff.
yeah,
Like Charlie Smith will forget more about wrestling than I freaking will probably ever know.
yeah,
And it's and that's kind of the thing. It's not Charlie Smith, the referee, the Cauliflower Alley Club, and all that. Is genuinely a miss walking into shows, and him calling us over and like chatting us up and shaking our hand and that kind of stuff. And I think that's what a lot of people will miss
yeah.
about Charlie Smith and Georgia wrestling, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So goodness,
Well, we're passionate about what we do. We love the people we've met, and Charlie was a true blessing. I'm choked up and coughing.
yeah. I
So
mean, if you don't think, here's the thing: if everybody knows me and is cold, not cold hearted is not the right word, but stone hearted, as I like to say.
yeah,
For me to get emotional, that should tell you how much we cared for that old
yeah.
man, and
Well, he made us feel like we were a big deal.
you know.
Okay, and there's nothing more important to me.
My big thing to him is he was an old dude who just like I said he was my friend,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of stuff that you'll take
Hmm.
for take a anyway. So let's move on before we
On with the
completely lose
show,
it.
so we can talk about wrestling, promote Georgia wrestling, something Charlie loved.
Yeah.
Good
So
weekend.
yeah.
Lots of action this weekend. You are going to have trouble not finding a great show somewhere near you this weekend. I think the one I'm looking forward to Friday night is Southern Honor. Uh, Also, Action Wrestling is running down on that side of town.
Yeah.
Um, Got a bunch of stuff. Both of these shows are going to be for on IWTV. It's going to be a
Yeah.
big deal.
Let's start with Southern Honor, man. Let's start right out of the gate, man. Let's show some people some stuff. Like, what can you expect this weekend? Friday night up in Canton. They sent us over. They do these great little video packages, and we'll get you a little bit something that you can see what's coming up.
Attention wrestling fans. Join us for SHW 39, Friday, May 6th at the Action Building in Canton, Georgia. SHW champion Owen Knight faces his biggest challenge yet when he defends his title in a triple threat match against Cyrus the Destroyer and the Priest of Punishment, Judas. The brand new SHW Tag Team Champions All-Star Special put their titles on the line when they face off with SHW newcomers, TSF. Plus, one of the biggest matches in our 3.5-year history as the future of SHW hangs in the balance. Dylan James goes one-on-one with the Heathen Cruel in a chain match. Dylan wins, Brooklyn is gone for good. But if Cruel wins, Brooklyn takes Dylan's place as Booker of SHW. Also in action, Joe Black, David Ali, Shazza McKenzie, Kyle Matthews, Jordan Kingsley, The Bloodbath Behemoth Tank, and more. Tickets go on sale at the door the night of the show starting at 5:30 p.m. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8. Invite your friends and let's pack the Action Building for another great night of professional wrestling. Trust us, you don't want to miss this show. SHW, this is our wrestling.
That's right, man.
Wow.
Stacked and loaded, and Friday's going to be a big show for lots of reasons. So
Yeah, they put an amazing card together. Then they put up that amazing promo package to go with it. Holy shit. Part of the David Ali Farewell Weekend. And how can we talk about wrestling in Georgia this weekend without talking about the David Ali Farewell?
Last match at Southern Honor, he'll face Carly Bravo. That's, again, massive, hit close to home, match this weekend. I'm sure those two will tear the house down push each other to the limits as they, have their last match at Southern Honor. As you saw in the video, in my opinion, one of the big matches, of course, is Dylan will face Cruel. If Dylan loses, Brooklyn Creed is the new Booker at Southern Honor. Cruel, if Dylan wins, of course, he's the man. So.
Oh, that's high stakes right there, and you know how evil she is. That's going to be violent. I worry those two are so over the top violent that whenever they get in the ring together, somebody's going to get badly hurt.
For a long time we saw them as a team and how much destruction they spread across the that area, and now we're going to see those two go at it, and and I'm just I'm with you, because Cruel just. No limits, we've seen some crazy stuff from across the country of his, and he'll do, I think, anything, especially with Brooklyn at the helm, getting him, I think she can probably get him to do just about anything. Jumping forward, I do want to ask you, man, I don't know that we've ever come into a championship match, Southern Honor Championship, Owen Knight champion. He has to be the odds are just so stacked against him walking out of there when he's having to face Cyrus and Judas. He doesn't even have to lose. He doesn't even have to lose. But the problem is those two monsters have got their eyes set on him. If they can take their eyes off each other long enough to set their eyes on him, it's going to. Oh man. Yeah, it will be a tall task for sure to see that Owen Knight can come out. Joe Black and Kyle Matthews, that's going to be an interesting take to see what happens. Kyle Matthews, one of the best technicians around, to see what he can do with Joe Black. Tank has an open challenge. Curious to see, listen, does Gunnar Miller respond to last month's, you hate to say this about a Gunnar Miller, but the beatdown that he took at the hands, of Tank.
Yeah. I don't want to see him hurt.
Right.
This is an actual show where I have anxiety about the participants being hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of real looking shit, folks.
Yeah. I mean, I have fears for Owen. I have fears of what'll happen in, Dylan, and no pun intended, right? Fear in the match of Cruel and Dylan. And then, of course, Tank, if Gunnar Miller gets involved, how does that go? But the one of the positives we will see is an All-Star special. Your Southern Honor Tag Team Champions will have their first title defense. They will fight newcomers TSF. So look, I think how we got there. A lot of people were they were disappointed in how they got there. Let's be honest. But I think this is their opportunity to have a run, and I think they will. I think they're a good opportunity to have a long run as your Southern Honor Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, definitely. Very popular, very popular. I get to see Darian Bingstrom for the first time versus Jordan Kingsley, and returning Kenzie Page, who is a sensation, a young sensation in professional wrestling, versus someone I've never seen, Shaza McKenzie. So I am looking forward to this a lot.
Yeah. So, look, absolutely make sure you're up there. If you're on that side of town, Southern Honor Wrestling, it's at 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. You can start getting your tickets at 5 at the door. Doors open at 7. Bell time is 8. They have to do that 8 o'clock Friday, man, because traffic and everything. You got to give them a little time longer to get there. So, but now if you're over on the south side of town, our friends over at Action Wrestling, they are running as well on Friday. And as you can see right there on the thing, they've got the big match on the card. AC Mack will be defending the IWTV World Championship against Anthony Green. It's few and far between. I tell people all the time, AC Mack is a big deal now. Like it's you're hard pressed to catch him. It shows like he's not all, he's very, he's very sought after, and to the point that it's, you've got it when you get an opportunity to catch him, you got to catch him.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you want to catch it, if you want to get an AC Mack match, check him out down in Action, down in Tyrone. Ashton Starr, he is going to be challenging Kevin Koo for the Action Championship. Ashton Starr, man, is it his time again? He needs to be a champion again, right? He's got to get a belt.
Yeah. I think he'd be good to get this one.
Yeah. Alex Shelley's coming into the building. Anthony Henry's going to be facing him. So much more, down there. And it is 7:30 p.m. on their show, by the way. It's 7:30 p.m. Tyrone, Georgia, at the Roger Spencer Community Center. That is this Friday. So if you're on the south side, kind of that southwest side, it's what I love about, because that's what we go back to always talking about, how depending on where you live in Atlanta, right? Like if you're down on the south side and you don't want to fight all that traffic to get up to Southern Honor, you got Action on the south side. If if you're on the north side, blah blah blah, you can always head over to Canton, check out Southern Honor. Both, and the great thing about it, by the way, it's two different styles. Mm-hmm. So even if you just the commute doesn't matter, you just like certain styles, you've also got your both options, and that's what we love about Georgia. It just always seems to have those options.
Oh yeah, and Saturday we got a completely different style.
Yep.
Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, David Ali's farewell match versus the returning Allen Angels, known as 5, on national television.
Yeah, right there at the Boys and Girls Club, 405 Community Court in Monroe on Saturday. Like I said, this is the big, I honestly, that's a major reason, obviously, for going, but they got like tons of stuff going on there. There's not just that, but yes, David Ali's farewell match, wouldn't miss it for the world. Love that kid. Absolutely, to see him versus Allen Angels again will be awesome. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have a Southern Fried Championship title match. Billy Buckle defending against Shane Marks. Judas and Todd Sexton versus Xavier Reyes and Nick Halen. That's right, your favorite wrestler, Myra. Yeah, yes. Nick Halen. That one should be just, another one to tear the house down. That feud Nick Halen and Todd Sexton is like the feud that won't die. And I don't mean that in a bad, it just keeps burning and burning and going and going and going.
I think it's probably one of the top feuds in the state this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, that whole story. If it's not, I'd love to know what is. Adrian Hawkins, of course, is getting a Classics Championship title shot versus Najasism. So that'll be how it's very rare, that Adrian Hawkins is not a champion.
Yes.
He loves, that's one of his things. He loves to stand there and tell you he is your champion. This is his opportunity to back those statements up and become a champion at Southern Fried again. So it's definitely a show you absolutely don't want to miss. If I had anything to do with it, and
Hated people, hated heels,
yeah,
just adored baby faces. This is as pure of Southern wrestling as you're going to get.
I'm sure we'll see those white meat babyface Palmetto Express there as well. Everybody loves those kids in Monroe, why not, right? How could you not love those guys?
Yeah, and then they're working at not Palmetto, but the program's going to be working Friday night up at NCW.
Yeah.
So in Cornelia at the Landmark Arena. So there's a lot of wrestling out there this weekend, folks.
Yeah. That's all this weekend. And then, of course, setting up the table for the following weekend is the big 3-year anniversary for IWE.
Yes.
It's at the American Legion, 90 Millage Road, Augusta, Georgia. Like I said, May 14th. I want to make sure everybody has that day. Bell time is 7 o'clock. By the way, you could actually buy your tickets online, IWE Online TIX. So IWE Online TIX with TIX, .ticketleap.com. You get your tickets over there. As you can clearly see, they've never had a unified championship. But now that you have Anthony Henry and Joe Black as champions, and you have, of course, the pusher Tyreek with Joe Black, those two are going to face, and we might actually see this finally happen.
Oh, wow.
Amongst many things.
Do you think they're going to get 300?
I hope so. I really do. I mean, I just hope.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I want to see. I would love to see the day that they literally, like, promotions are having to tell people, like, they can't hold any more people in their building. Like, fire code says I can't let any more people, but that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that everywhere. Not just certain places, literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to those guys. Yeah. And by the way, Vet Tix is, I'm a big proponent of those guys. And, I'm happy that they use that they use, Vet Tix as a service. So 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Excited. Hopefully they can knock that easily. And I'm going to go this out of order for a reason. Alan Angels is coming into town. He's going to wrestle Hammerstone, Rob Killjoy versus White Mike. Our friend, friend of the show, Skrilla and Wolf Taylor are going to take on Owen Knight and Josh Magnum. The women's match, Lindsay Snow and Leela Gray.
Big match.
AC Mack, Vari Morales, and Darian Binkson in a triple threat. We already told you about Anthony Henry and Joe Black. But one of the big hot ones across the state that everybody's talking about is Exotic Youth versus Southern Strong Style and Hold My Beer Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than us just sit here and tell you about it, those guys have been going back and forth on social media. And friend of the show, Hold My Beer Hansen, had this to say about Exotic Youth.
Bryce, I don't get it. You must not told your buddies that if you can't fight, you must not talk all this trash. Because we already know they're going to get their ass whooped on the 14th. I get it. You and your boys, you've been all over the place. You held belts. Cool. But what the problem here is, IWE called me. They called Southern Strong Style. They called me and my boys because we've been riding these roads a long time. We thick as thieves. This ball can't be broken. And you already know that anytime you and I step in the ring, it's been Hold My Beer Hansen beats Bryce Cannon. So tell me this. What's your plan? What's your idea? Because we already know it ain't going to work. On the 14th, we're going to roll in there. We're going to take your belts. We're going to beat you up. And we're going to take your money. IWE paid us to come in, cut the promos, take the gold, and hit the road.
Hansen Hold My Beer Hansen not at a loss for words as, him, Proc the Croc Johnson, and J2 Strong roll into IWE to take on Exotic Youth and look to basically, as they say, not us, as they say, go in there, shut them up, take the gold, and, become the team down there in IWE. So, what do you say?
Man, that's a beautiful field of cane poles he was standing in front of, too. Always the scenery in his videos are just as good as the content. I'm excited to hear this. If I was not at work, I'm at a point where I don't have enough vacation to spare to get to this. I really, really am wanting to see that bad.
Super proud of those kids. They've come a long way. And when I say that, I see all 6 people in that match. Exotic Youth, Southern Strong Style, and Hanson. This feud, I think, has all the potential in the world. This could be something that we see, down the road at multiple promotions and things to happen. But I think this is the first step of where we can see the growth of this feud. Because me personally, I would be psyched to see it all over the place. So, because we know how much how much we love all of those guys. So that's just me. What do I know, right? Tons, like you said, man, tons of stuff this weekend. Going into next weekend, we didn't even dive in because we didn't have a full car. NCW is Friday as well. So we're going to be at Southern Honor on Friday, Southern Fried on Saturday.
Stop by and say hello.
Yeah, stop by, say hey, and check us out, man. We greatly appreciate it. As always want to remind you to make sure you are, because look, if you're watching this, you're on Patreon or YouTube, because you don't find it anywhere else. It's the only 2 homes for it. Make sure you're turning those notifications on, because if you didn't know, you would have actually gotten this show before you got the national show this week, because you would have got your notifications had you turned it on. And of course, if you're a member at Patreon, at patreon.com/tappedOutPod, yet I got it on Tuesday when we recorded it. So, look, we appreciate everything, man, and we hope to see you out this weekend. Tons of stuff going on in indie wrestling. You just keep yourself busy, man, and get out and support the guys and show, because, look, you never know. Guys like David Ali, he's heading out from Georgia. You got to support him while you can, because you don't know when it might be your last opportunity to see him. And there's no way in hell I wasn't going to take an opportunity to see him a couple times before he hit the road.
No.
So, we'll miss him, obviously, and I'm sure we'll discuss it a little bit next week, but we'll miss the guy. And like I said, love the kid. And Georgia will miss him. We said it last week. Georgia will miss David Ali.
It will, I think. He'll be off. I mean, he's off to newer, not better fields. I don't know. Chicago is a classic wrestling town, but he's off to newer fields.
Yeah. So we wish him nothing but the best, right? Nothing but the best, man. But that's all I have as far as the Georgia Indy Talk this week. You got anything else before we get out of here, man?
I am all tapped out.
Well, what's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.